This What's Working with Cam Marston podcast is brought to you by Stella Artois Beer.
What's Working with Cam Marston is brought to you by Stella Artois Beer. Stella Artois is a perfect beer for celebration. Nothing caps off a big sale, hitting your incentive goals, or a profitable quarter like a round of Stellas. Brewed first in 1708 as a special Christmas brew, today Stella is a gift for everyone to enjoy year-round. Stella Artois. Find it wherever fine beer is sold.
Hello again. Welcome to What's Working. I'm Cam Marston. What's Working is the show designed to bring you the trends shaping the workplace, the workforce, and the marketplace around each of us, so that our guests can tell us about the trends that are shaping the things that they do, with the hopes that something that they say will make each of us a little bit better at dealing with these trends shaping the workplace, the workforce, and the marketplace around us. Our guests have insights into things that are changing out there. And once we talk to them, we hope that some of the changes they're going through will be influential and beneficial to you and me as we listen to how they react to those changes. Today, we're doing one of my favorite formats. It's the check-in show. We reach back 18 months to a year, something like that, to guests that we have on the show to see how they've fared over the past year, what this new pandemic economy, this new pandemic, let's say, supply chain stuff, this new pandemic hiring challenge has done to them and how they've reacted. And we'll hear today that the guests that I have coming up have reacted very well. They've become very creative. They have not let this current business climate hold them back or hold them down. And rather than tell you what they're going to say, we're going to quickly get into it. Before we do that, though, I want to remind you of the professionals at Sandifer Wealth Management. Mark Salyers, Jamie Sandifer, two guys who have your best interests in mind as they help you prepare for your future. If you have a habit of saving more than you spend, if you have a habit of, let's say, focusing on the future and what you may do after retirement, if your hope is to provide your employees with opportunities to retire through a 401k, give the professionals at Sandifer Wealth Management a call. I can vouch for them myself. I know them well. Nice folks. Give them a call. Let them hear what you got in mind, and I know that they will help you. Again, Jamie Sandifer, Mark Salyers, Sandifer Wealth Management. Find them online. They have a place to enter your questions online or certainly give them a call. I know you'll benefit from it. When we get back, we'll have our first guests from our check-in show. You're going to enjoy this. You're listening to What's Working. I'm Cam Marston.
I'm Eric Cromwell. The law firm of Cromwell & Associates can help guide your decisions regarding the life you've created with estate planning tools like wills and trusts. We've planned meetings with first-generation business owners and large multi-generational family groups. With locations in Mobile and Fairhope, we can assist you and your family through every stage of life. To learn more, call 251-605-9075 or find Cromwell & Associates on Facebook.
At Spring Hill Toyota, it's just that easy. From our 3-day exchange to free car washes, the benefits of the Spring Hill Advantage make the choice easy to see. We make it easy to own. Every vehicle comes with Toyota Care, plus our no-cost maintenance plan with free tire rotations and oil changes for 4 years. Get peace of mind with free roadside assistance 24/7. And don't forget, it's easy to buy your car 100% online. Visit SpringHillToyota.com today. It's just that easy.
What's Working with Cam Marston is brought to you by Stella Artois Beer. Now offering the purchase of the Stella Artois Chalice, a beautiful stemmed glass with the Stella logo. The purchase of each Stella Artois Chalice provides 5 years of clean water for someone in one of 13 developing countries around the world. Learn more at StellaArtois.com. Stella Artois. Find it wherever fine beer is sold.
A cool thing happened back in '64. That's when Keith Air Conditioning opened their doors. And ever since then they've earned your family's trust, fixing your AC when it bites the dust. So call Keith Air Conditioning, they're number one. Keith Air Conditioning. conditioning, they get it done. Award-winning service done with pride. With Keith, you're gonna sleep in comfort tonight.
3 generations and 2 names you can count on, Keith and Carrier. Hi, this is Brent Keith. Turn to the experts is not just a tagline in my family, it's a promise. Every technician is an experienced air conditioning professional. Their money-saving experience and expertise diagnoses your problem accurately and efficiently. Speaking of money, we're offering $25 off our introductory price for a total comfort maintenance plan. And ask about our specials on new Carrier systems. Keith and Carrier, the experts you turn to.
Mobile's leading name in comfort since 1964.
License number 83731.
On the line with me is Artious Walker, Smac Shack's food truck. He was struggling when we last talked to him. COVID had just set in. All the people that were lining up to buy his food were not lining up to buy his food because none of us were lining up anywhere to buy any food. And he was concerned about what was going to happen. This is the check-in show, and I want to welcome Artious back to the show. Artious, thank you for your time. Welcome back to What's Working, my friend.
Hey, you guys. Appreciate you having me on.
I'm glad you're here. So we talked to you. Things were crazy. Things were unknown and uncertain. Catch me up. It's been about 18 months. What's going on with you?
Oh, man, it's been crazy, Cam. So one thing COVID did, like it probably did for most of us, it kind of set us down. You know, it's not a whole lot of movement when you're in isolation or you can't kind of staying home waiting for some kind of relief of COVID or numbers to go up. But the good part about us from a business standpoint, it made us kind of refocus the direction we were going in before. Before it was just all food truck all day, every time we can get an event set up and go. Definitely with the when COVID initially hit, it did provide other catering type opportunities. But one really good thing it did was to make us just kind of focus on our processes internal and kind of look at where we are and what steps we need to make Smac Shack as a food truck stronger once everything kind of lets up. And one thing we did was so we have a commissary, and then we also use part of my house for dry storage. And the missus was, of course, with Smac Shack not operating, she had to sit there and look at Smac Shack stuff. And so she challenged myself and to get it out of the house at the time, find something else to do with it. And so we actually, we purchased a 40-foot shipping container, and the idea was to put some shelves in it and, make it nice for nice dry storage. You start looking at YouTube videos, and before you know it, man, we had built framing in this thing. We had put sheetrock, insulation, electrical, a new floor and a door on the side of it, and it literally turned into like a shipping container unit. And so you put HVAC on it, and everything Smac Shack related that's not stored at the commissary can now be put into this thing. And so it just kind of really broadened our horizons of the possibilities of shipping containers.
Yeah.
And then then we were strolling down Dolphin Street. The lot that we typically set up at is the Lost Garden, right there down from Hero. It's between Heroes and the Loda Beer Garden.
Yeah,
and
on the south side of the street.
On the south side of the street, absolutely. And we saw a for sale sign there, and it's people, so many times you don't know where your path is in life. Matter of fact, my first thought was, oh my gosh, it's for sale. Who am I going to lease from next year? Because periodically I'll lease that lot from the Peavies who previously owned it. And then you just put so many limitations on yourself in life. And then an idea hit me, if it's for sale, why not just buy it instead of focusing on who to lease from next year? And so we, through the grace of God and through a couple of investors, my older brother and a good friend of ours, we kind of just pooled resources together, and not only did we purchase the empty lot, we bought the Weber building next door to it. And the idea with both of those properties is to take what we've learned as far as possibilities with shipping containers, take my background already that we have in food trucks, and turn that lot into a food court that would have 5 different food shipping containers outfitted for food operations for downtown.
So you went from, I love this, by the way, you went from going, oh my goodness, who am I going to lease from next year, to I'm now a landowner, to I'm now a landowner and a building owner next to the land, and now you're going to lease the space to other people.
It's funny how that, I mean, just so many times when people tell you dream big, and then, you think, okay, dream big, but you put limitations on the definition of big.
Yeah.
But, we couldn't have imagined, being in this predicament. And so now we're about 4 months out from being complete. We're racing to be open before Mardi Gras.
Sure, good.
But the shipping container park will be named Box Out. And Box Out will house 5 of your favorite. Some of them are food trucks that are looking to become more stable. Some of them are existing local restaurants that want to get a foothold in the downtown area without a $100,000 investment.
Yeah.
And so 5 very popular food items that will be available right there, housed within those container units. We'll also incorporate the building. It'll be a couple of garage door style openings that will allow indoor dining possibilities as well as restrooms. And we're even going to build a deck system above the containers that spans the length of the wall. And it'll come out from each side of the lot. It'll span about 16 feet wide and run the entire 100-foot distance of the lot. It's literally a outdoor food court that's, from day one inception, designed to operate outdoors. So
I assume by being the landowner, you're giving yourself the prestigious position for Smac Shack. It's gonna be perhaps fronted by Smac Shack, huh?
The initial thought right now is so Box Out is his own brand. I don't want it to be Smac Shack and Friends.
Right.
And so the initial plan going in is to lease out all 5 containers and then allow Smac Shack to continue to operate as a food truck outside of that. And so
wait a minute. Let me get this straight. You went from operating a food truck to buying property, wondering who you're going to lease from so that your food truck would have a place to go, to buying the property, and you're no longer going to sell food on that property. You're going to continue with the historical food truck business.
So that's the game plan as of today.
Yeah.
And that way, I can, because, from my standpoint, when it comes to Box Out, I want to be Box Out. I don't want to be Box Out, but I'm really at Smac Shack. If I got 5 different food vendors there, and they're looking for some support for myself, I want to be able to be, that I want to be there. When I'm there for them, not stuck in my own container, cooking brisket or whatnot. Yeah.
I love the irony of this story. I love how big it got in the irony in it. I think it's fantastic.
It blew up quick, man. It's a multi-million-dollar project. We're actually on the southern part of Dolphin Street. We're the second Black landowners on that side of Dolphin Street, and so it's just a whole lot of history being made, at this point in time. And so it would be a very, very excellent display of, how small businesses, Black businesses can thrive in an environment where opportunities exist. So
So if I recall now, and forgive me if I get this wrong, Artious, but it's been a little while since we had you on the show. This all began with you using a George Foreman grill in your dorm room.
It did.
Okay, I got it right. Yeah.
Yeah, you did. You're absolutely correct. Matter of fact, it was. I had a knockoff George Foreman grill. It was like a sandwich press, but one of the students, they wanted some free sandwiches, and they traded me their really, really nice George Foreman grill for some free sandwiches. And so what you're saying is absolutely correct. This whole thing started from a couple of George Foreman grills in the dormitory.
And if they got a grilled cheese, and if they wanted meat on it or something like that, you'd charge them $1 more or something like that.
Yeah, we do. I charge them. I provide meat and bread for the price of only 50 cents. And people are like, "Oh, this guy is such an idiot." Look at him for 50 cents. But the crazy part about it is, I would charge, if you wanted cheese, I charge $0.25 more. Of course, cheese is like 7 cents a slice.
Yeah. And
then if you wanted it grilled, I charge $0.25 more. And if you thought you were smarter than me, I just do it for free. I put cheese on it and grill it at no additional cost. And, once you go back to your dorm room and you peel apart the sandwich with the cheese oozing in between and whatnot, you never go back to cold bread and meat after that. And so it was a very easy sale when you came back to charge you $1 for those same pieces of bread and meat with cheese and grilling. And so our last day in operation was a Tuesday, and we made $170 something worth of profit selling 50-cent sandwiches.
Yeah.
And so it's all about the upcharge. It's funny you brought that up, Cam, because I had a conversation with the person who shut me down. She was over Airmark. There over all of food catering at the university. She ended up hiring me about a year later. I didn't know why she hired me at the time, but she told me my senior year, she hired me to take out the competition. But we ended up having a conversation about a few months ago in the University of Alabama A&M University up in Huntsville. They're looking to either this homecoming or next homecoming to pay for the food truck to be brought back up to A&M to serve at the presidential type events at homecoming.
Man. And
so to them, it's like Smac Shack going from a sandwich dorm thing into, the what Food Network classified as the best food truck in the state of Alabama to a food court, that provides 5, different opportunities for other food truck vendors. It's grown so much, man. It's unreal.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And I applaud your bravery. I applaud the vision that initially was, by your own admission, too small and now is as big as it can be. I applaud you being the landowner on the south side of Dolphin Street, in a very busy part of Dolphin Street, man. You are a great story, and I'm glad to have found your story. And, man, in me and the people that are listening to this show, you've got a great fan base. I can't wait to get into to try to walk into the box out space on the south side of Dolphin Street and see what it looks like. I congratulate you, man. I'm thrilled for you.
I appreciate it so much, Cam. Definitely, if you want to check out, they got a rendering drawings that the design engineers group, they provided. It's at boxowt.com.
OWT, got it. Yeah.
Yeah, OWT. So.
Artious, we hope to see you up there around Mardi Gras, and you can count on me coming by and getting some food. Thank you very much.
Hey, appreciate you guys so much, man. Y'all take care.
We'll go to break. You're listening to What's Working. I'm Cam Marston.
I'm Paul Lewis, General Manager for Lewis Construction. Many of our commercial buildings you drive by daily on both sides of the bay are the fruits of our client relationship since our beginning in the early 80s. It is our mission to bring value to our clients, from retrofits to ground-up construction and everything in between. We have more advocates than any of our competitors who have been in business twice as long. Same with repeat business, same with referrals. Find us online at roylewisconstruction.com and let's talk about your next commercial project.
Hi, I'm David Nelson, brewmaster and owner of Braided River Brewing in downtown Mobile. We make drinkable, flavorful craft beer perfect for life on the Gulf Coast. So pick up one of our 6-packs before your next adventure or stop by our tap room for a relaxing afternoon with friends. Follow us on social media for the latest beer releases and events and ask for a Braided River at your favorite bars and restaurants. Thanks for your support. We look forward to sharing our beers with you.
This is Cam Marston, and I'm with Cajun Mike of E3 Termite and Pest Control. Cajun Mike, if a homeowner thinks they have termites, do you offer inspections? What about someone buying a new home? Can you come in and take a look and see if there are termites in their new home?
Yeah, basically what we would do on a home above and beyond anyone else is we actually do a thorough inspection. But above that, we will use infrared imaging that will allow us to see problems in the wall and at times can tell us if there's anything going on.
That's fantastic, Cajun Mike. How can people find you?
They can find me at e3pest.com.
That's the letter E, the number 3, pest.com.
King Solomon wrote, "Without consultation, plans are frustrated, but with many counselors, they succeed." The law firm of Cromwell & Associates has the legal counsel that can help your business succeed with experience in LLCs, corporations, and tax. I'm Eric Cromwell. Our law firm has locations in Mobile and Fairhope. Call 251-605-9075 or search for Cromwell & Associates on Facebook. And let's discuss how we can help you.
We're back. You're listening to What's Working. I'm Cam Marston, and on the line with me is Mary Beth Greene. She's the owner of MB Greene. She's the owner and the designer of the bags that they make. We spoke to her last March, I think, just as the pandemic was settling in. And Mary Beth, you were telling me the wonderful story of the way you got started. And the thing that I remember the most is the day that the container showed up, I think it was, full of the bags that you had been creating using these cutout pieces of paper that you would use to make them. And ultimately it caught traction. You got a bunch of them made. The container showed up and you went, oh, wow, this just got real. Time to start selling these things. Welcome back to the show. I'm glad to have you on again.
Thank you. It's great to be back.
Why don't you tell the listeners, just so everybody's kind of caught up on the business that you have, what it is, tell everyone about the bags that you make, and then we'll talk about what's happened in the last 18 months or so.
Okay, great. So we are based in Fairhope, Alabama, like you said, and currently we have 4 different collections, and we like to call our bags really travel wares. They are great whether you are traveling to the ball field or you are traveling out of town by plane, train, or automobile. So they are durable, quality waxed canvas for the most part. We have a turquoise and an oyster collection. One is for him and one is more for her. And then, of course, the clear collection, now that we are all so excited to be attending football games and concerts again, we have a quality, trendy, fashionable clear bag, and then also our pebble grain collection, which we like to call durable sophistication. It's professional, it's classic and simple, but super buttery soft, and that all of our bags are designed and shipped right here at our warehouse on Section Street in Fairhope.
Super buttery soft. I'm going to remember that and use that description somewhere someday, super buttery soft. Now, yes, you're based in Fairhope, but your distribution is nationwide. I mean, I think that's important for people to hear that you're all over the nation, aren't you?
We are. We ship all over the country, and primarily our wholesale customers are mom and pop boutiques throughout the country. We do still do a drop ship program with Neiman Marcus. We have been featured 2 different seasons last year and this year with QVC and sold 3 different styles there. So that was super exciting to be able to move that many units that quickly. And we have just really been fortunate over the last 6 years to expand not just, our e-commerce, but also our boutiques and our wholesale account list.
Let me ask you quickly, and I know this is a rabbit hole that I could get lost in, but QVC, would you do that again? Was that worth your time?
It was. They were delightful to work with and very organized. And pretty much in a nutshell, the way that worked is they found us at a trade show a couple years ago and approached us. And they also appreciated and loved our story that was behind our products and loved the quality and the functionality. And so, yes, we enjoyed working with them, and they placed an actual PO, and we shipped the order to the different QVC distribution centers throughout the country. And then once the show airs, they actually take the orders and fill the orders. So once we ship to their distribution centers, our work is done, with the exception of me appearing on air with the host to support the sales the day of the sale.
Pretty cool. Was it as cool as you thought it would be?
Well, it was, except for the Skype technology side of things. That was probably the most intimidating part for me, is just getting everything all set to actually be live from home due to COVID. So that was honestly probably more challenging for me than the thought of live TV.
Sure. So let's go to the COVID impact of you. I have to imagine that retail sales slumped for a period of time. So many of my clients, or not clients, but the people that I interview on the show, saw a big hit in whatever it is that they do as soon as the pandemic settled in. But people then suddenly started to realize that if this is going to be the way, then I'm going to upgrade several things. And I'm wondering what your story is. I'm thinking specifically about an AV company that I had on the show that saw their sales plummet. And then suddenly people thought, well, heck, if we're going to be home and we're in isolation, then I'm going to upgrade my TV. I'm going to upgrade my sound system and things like that, since that's what we'll be staring at. Now, AV is very different than what it is that you offer, but go ahead and tell us your COVID story. What happened? How did your sales react? What did you guys do to make the best of the opportunity? You said there were silver linings. I'm very curious what those are.
Right. So as I just mentioned, the majority of our business was based on wholesale and mom and pop boutiques, AKA non-essential businesses in 2020. So, I admit the first, 2 to 3 weeks, you just felt frozen and felt like, what next, And so it was a bit scary, but then as time went on and you realized we've got to just roll with this, and what do we do next? And so we began to take those email lists that we had never really done that much with, but we had accumulated this like treasure chest of email addresses. But because in our head we had always been a wholesale company, not a retail company, we decided to really use those and market direct to consumer, because after all, people were at home and that was the only way they could shop, whether it was a birthday or a true need or groceries. I mean, everything was so online. And so we just decided to continue to collaborate with some other brands and share our email list with them and send their products to our list and vice versa, so that now maybe our business friend that we were collaborating with that sells pajamas, we were selling her pajamas to our customers and offering a discount. So we still wanted to bring value to that email inbox, but maybe they've already bought bags. Now we can offer them pajamas at a discount because these are our friends in the business market world.
Yeah.
And so we just got really creative. We spent a lot of time designing new styles, and we decided that we would take the resources that we had accumulated for the last 6 years and make that work for us. And so we said the relationships with our factories and the things that we have learned along the way, we are going to take that and leverage those as resources and not really try and reinvent the wheel here. And so out of that came MB Greene Custom, which is what we are currently working really hard on and creating some things to offer businesses and people, anyone really that needs to order in volume. And it can be a win-win for us here at MB Greene, but also for the customer, because they can go direct to the factory and we can design for them. We can do any price point they want. And so we can use that relationship with our factories to make things like that happen that aren't going to be in the pages of a catalog where you would normally go and choose black, red, or royal.
Give me an example of what an MB Greene custom may look like and who may want it.
Well, we have done a couple orders for local schools that wanted bags for their early childhood students, that they wanted them to all have the same bag that all fit on the hooks and that type of thing at school. We've done that a couple times. And we've also tapped into the medical industry, or an orthodontist that gives the patient at the beginning of their course of treatment, they give them a bag full of wax and wire and information that they need, and then they can keep that in their backpack. And so we've done that and added their logo. We've done a custom hang tag. So it's been a really fun way to design and make it whatever the customer wants or needs, and make it really special for the end user, whether that is a giveaway or something to generate additional sales for a customer. So, it would not be a program for someone who only needs 50 of something, but when you say, have 3 different offices, or you own several grocery store chains and you want to do a shopping tote that is free between 8 and 10 on Saturday mornings when you shop with us, that type of thing where you need some volume. We have a fishing tournament in North Carolina that has worked with us 2 or 3 times for prizes and things to sell in their marina. And they are now interested in doing something like that because they can make it custom and have their logo on it. And, when it comes to them, we're not now sending it to the monogrammer to be embroidered or to have something added. So again, it's much more cost effective, so that when it arrives, it is ready to go. So we don't have to send it to be touched again to add that logo.
What % of the business do you foresee going forward being the custom?
Well, we would love to continue to grow that side of the business, but moving forward, we would love to have that where it was just another consistent revenue stream, just like, the wholesale and retail currently is. We would love to just have one more, piece of pie being the custom.
Yeah. Yeah. We're in your corner, Mary Beth. I love your story. We're in your corner, and I'm excited for your custom program. Good for you. Good for you for taking a step back and saying, hey, I think I see an opportunity. And good for you for looking at that email list and saying, folks, we didn't think we're retail, but we need to reconsider things and look at all these email addresses. Good for you for finding someone to partner with and sell new things to your people. I love every bit of it, and I'm grateful that you're one of us. You're one of us. You're one of these people down here, and we're pulling for you, Mary Beth. Good luck to you, and thank you so much for sharing your update.
Thank you, Cam. It's great to talk to you, and I appreciate you taking the time.
Sure, happy to do it. Glad to know you, folks. We'll be back after this break. You're listening to What's Working. I'm Cam Marston.
At Roy Lewis Construction, we're in the business of adding value. Whether it's working with you to meet your unique business needs or making investments in our community in lasting ways, providing unparalleled value and quality in every commercial construction project. When planning your next commercial project, reach out to Roy Lewis Construction. We'll pair you with a designer that best suits your project needs and work with that designer to balance the best architectural outcome with the best budget outcome. Find us online at roylewisconstruction.com, building legacies one relationship at a time.
At Spring Hill Toyota, it's just that easy. From our 3-day exchange to free car washes, the benefits of the Spring Hill Advantage make the choice easy to see. We make it easy to own. Every vehicle comes with Toyota Care, plus our no-cost maintenance plan with free tire rotations and oil changes for 4 years. Get peace of mind with free roadside assistance 24/7. And don't forget, it's easy to buy your car 100% online. Visit SpringHillToyota.com today. It's just that easy.
Think about how people really see you. The kid at the drive-thru just sees a coffee drinker.
Please go forward.
Your local barista sees the person who loves a smiley face in their latte.
See you next time.
It's kind of the same way with insurance. Other insurance companies just see a customer, but a State Farm agent sees more. They see you as a neighbor. Your State Farm agent is here to get to know who you really are, so they can help life go right.
Call me, State Farm agent Allison Horner, in Mobile at 666-1616.
I'm David Nelson, brewmaster and owner of Braided River Brewing. We want beer that goes along no matter where the adventure takes us and that doesn't make us choose between great beer and drinkability. We're drawn to the Delta and united by beer because to us, the best way to celebrate the Delta is to slow down and savor the moments and the beer together. Come visit our tap room in downtown Mobile and ask for us at your favorite bar or restaurant. Visit online at braidedriverbrewing.com.
Hey, this is Cam. Thanks for listening, and I hope you're really enjoying the podcast. Do me a favor and search for Cam Marston on your social media outlets and like us or follow us or whatever is the right thing to do. Also, if you know others who'd benefit from the podcast, please forward it on to them and encourage them to listen. If you're so inclined, we'd love your rating on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Those ratings matter. Finally, don't be a stranger. Email me with your comments, your feedback, your thoughts, your show ideas, whatever. Cam, C-A-M, at cammarston.com. I'd love to hear from you. Again, thank you very much for listening. Now, back to the show. Joe was one of the most downloaded in the podcast version because I didn't know it when I spoke to him. He is a celebrity in the farm to table community, and everybody across the country wants to know what he's doing. Another local hero we have in town with us. Chris, welcome back to What's Working. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Cam. Nice to be back.
Tell me, this is a check-in show. We're checking in with some of our most popular guests. What's been going on with the Noble South? What's been going on with your menu, your growers? Give us an update. What's going on with you?
Well, obviously the last 18 months has been kind of dominated, like a lot of other things, by COVID, especially in the restaurant industry. So we've been, kind of learning and fighting through different protocols and, fluctuations in business. As far as the big picture goes. And then, on the inside, we've tried to stay true to who we are. No major changes in the menu, but we did have some adjustments in the hours that were open. We shortened the menu a touch just to make things easier with a little bit less staff and things like that. So those have been the major things that we've done. But all the while, I think we're staying true to our original vision of being a farm-to-table restaurant.
Are you finding staffing as difficult as it appears? I mean, there are restaurants that are closing down 3-4 nights a week because they can't find staff. Is that something you've experienced?
A little bit. On one hand, we've been very lucky in that we've gotten most of our staff back. And we're able to have kind of a full staff, but we did go from being open 7 days to being open 5 days. We just found pretty early on that was going to make things a little bit easier to manage with the staff, because the people we kind of lost were most of our part-timers. We've been able to get all our full-timers back, especially in the kitchen. So we're able to give kind of people the full 5-day work week without having, and everybody can get a full schedule and work that way, as opposed to kind of juggling the part-timers and being open those other couple of days. And that seems to be working pretty well for us. We might re-examine it, as things, hopefully start to get better. But as of now, probably at least through the end of the year, that's where we're going to stay.
Do you feel that there has been a pent-up demand from customers out there who are eager to, and I'm using air quotes, return to normal and get out and socialize and go to dinner and walk, you're on Dauphin Street, walk down Dauphin Street and visit perhaps a bar or two along the way? Is there a sense of a pent-up demand? Are you seeing it in your reservations?
Yes, we were. It's kind of the way the flow of business went for us is really around March. We really started to pick back up again and get back to what was pretty much pre-pandemic levels in our business. Still just the 5 days, but as far as day-to-day business, we were doing pre-pandemic levels, and that stayed really until, towards the end of July, 1st of August. And then we started to see as the numbers went up again, here in Mobile especially, we've started to see business taper off a little bit. So I know we got that initial rush of people being able, finally feeling a little more comfortable and getting out and about a little bit. The weather was nice, in the spring. But as it got, too hot to sit outside and numbers started going up, we've had our business kind of back off a little bit. It's not quite as much as it was, say, this time last year, but still a pretty significant drop from where it was earlier in the summer and in the late spring.
How concerned are you?
Not very concerned overall as far as, the stability of the restaurants. We're not going to go anywhere. We're financially stable. We've done a good job preparing, post-pandemic. We were able to get in on some of the government funding, and that was a big help, and I think we used it wisely. So, financially, we're in good shape. It's just, it's hard to predict the future of what's going to happen coming up. Things have been off and on and changing so often, and that's the main concern, just kind of being able to properly plan for what's coming forward. So we can't really do any of the long-term planning we would like to do at the moment, but hopefully we'll start to get some indication of that things are going to get back on the up and up pretty soon.
What about your growers? I know you rely on great relationships with local and regional growers who bring you things that a normal food distributor maybe can't get their hands on, or bring you a quality of food that a commercial food distributor can't get their hands on. How have they been impacted in the past 18 to 24 months?
Well, I think much like any small business, for a while there, they saw their market kind of dry up. As restaurants slow down, it's a symbiotic relationship where once we slow down, a lot of them were sitting on product that they couldn't get rid of. And, for us as a restaurant, we tried to help people out as much as we could. We still tailored our menu around that, but I don't know that we haven't really lost anybody. We did see some, certainly maybe take out some of their more specialty items and kind of stick to some of the items that, appeal to a wider range of customers. And again, that was just a survival technique. So they had to have things they knew they could sell and not planning things that may or may not sell, but it was fun. They wanted to try, or might just sell to a little more specialized type of restaurant.
Yeah, I was curious if any of the growers or you, in fact, had said, well, if there was ever a time to really try something different, now would be the time. The other side of that coin is we need to stick to our knitting. We need to go stick with what we know works. It sounds like your growers stick with what they knew works, what they're going to sell the most of with the least amount of effort, and that's where they focus their efforts. Is that what it was?
Yes. I mean, I believe that is some of them, and just like everybody else, they had to tighten up their operations a little bit. And, for us, there was never really much of a doubt that we were always going to stick with it. As long as they were able to get us something, we were going to try and do that. And, we've had just recently people be affected by the Hurricane Ida, of course. So we had a lot of farmers that we use have their whole crops or part of their crops kind of wiped out from the storm. So these are all things that we've kind of dealt with before, and we know how to deal with little lapses that comes in. And luckily, we're flexible in the restaurant to where we can kind of change things on the fly, and our staff is able to do that, and our customers are able to adjust with us.
Tell me what item. This is a random question here, Chris. This is not you've not had ample time to prepare, but If there was one thing you could find someone growing around here that you would just say, man, I would kill to have some of this for my menu, what is that thing?
Oh, goodness. There's a lot of things, that you see in different climates, that's just too hot down here. So a lot of your spring stuff, I think where it's still too hot here, your, asparagus, artichokes, some of those things that are always really in other cities as you kind of look around, that they signal spring coming in and all that. And you see these bright, beautiful green vegetables and all that. And here, we start to get to onions, potatoes, some garlic, things like that. But it's not quite the initial spring bounty that you see elsewhere, green peas, things like that. Because I think it's still, spring is just a touch warmer here and it doesn't quite work the same. So I'm always a little bit jealous when we see, places in California or up the East Coast a little bit that have some of those traditional, harbingers of spring type vegetables that we maybe miss out on because of the climate here.
Yeah. No way to get that locally, huh?
No. We've had people try, but it just unfortunately doesn't work where we are. But that being said, we are very blessed with a long growing season. There's not a whole lot to complain about here as far as what people are able to grow.
What do you hear about your restaurant colleagues? My impression from our conversation back in the day was that you're kind of close to them. You're all competitors, but you do stay in contact with them, both locally as well as outside of the city of Mobile. What else is going on out there that surprised you?
Well, it's been a tough year for everybody. I know that, and honestly, I feel like in the last year and a half, I've almost lost touch with everybody. I think, people kind of hunkered down and were focused so much on their own survival and taking care of their own staffs and taking care of their customers that I really haven't seen or communicated as much with people as I typically do. And, people out of state, deal with different things than we do here in Alabama. So there's always some new questions there as far as what, comparing and contrasting what's working, what's not working, and what people are dealing with differently than we might be here, but locally. And I almost feel bad saying it. And I know me personally, we've just been so hyper-focused on what's going on in-house and just trying to kind of figure it out and put one foot in front of the other as we went through this, that I feel like I'm a little more isolated from the rest of the community than I usually am. But I do know, I think, from what I can tell, especially downtown, there certainly wasn't a large number of restaurants, maybe one or two that didn't survive. But on the whole, I think everybody made it through fairly well.
Yeah.
Or at least where they're still operating. And so we're really, happy with that for everybody. We're kind of rooting for the community as a whole. And it was a tough year. So anybody who was in it knows what I'm talking about. And we're certainly happy that everybody was able to stick around.
Tell me the item on the menu that if you were to remove it from the menu, people would rise up in arms, storm into the kitchen, and throw you out the back door and say, you're staying out there till you agree to put it back on the menu.
Right. Probably the pickled shrimp, I would guess. That has been the single thing on the menu that I believe since day one, which is 7.5 years now, that has gone on unchanged on the menu.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
We've had that one and the shrimp and grits as an entree, but the shrimp and grits has been tweaked a little bit over the years, whereas the pickled shrimp is more or less the exact same thing we started on day one.
Yeah. I was hoping you would say the shrimp and grits because it's by far my favorite. It's the one that absolutely makes my eyes roll back in my head every time. It's fantastic.
Well, that's nice to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Listen, tell people where they can find you online if they're interested in getting out and coming to your store or to your restaurant. Tell them how to find you.
Great. Yeah, they can look us up at the Noble South, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. We're located in downtown Mobile, 203 Dauphin Street. We're currently just open lunch and dinner Tuesday through Friday, and then just dinner on Saturday, closed Sunday, Monday. Hopefully that'll change at some point in the next several months or early next year. But, keep your eye on our social media outlets and websites thenoblesouthRestaurant.com for details.
Chris Rainosek, everybody. He's truly a treasure in our town. Thanks, Chris. Good luck to you, my man. I'm pulling for you.
Thanks, Cam. Nice to talk to you again.
We'll be back after this break with final comments. You're listening to What's Working. This is Cam Marston. The Keith family has provided service to my heating and cooling system since my family and I moved into our home 12 years ago. And today, Keith Air Conditioning offers 0% financing for up to 60 months on new installations, making a new heating or cooling system for your home even easier to come by. Give them a call or find them online and let them come work their magic. Keith and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
What's Working with Cam Marston is brought to you by Stella Artois Beer. Stella Artois is a perfect beer for celebration. Nothing caps off a big sale, hitting your incentive goals, or a profitable quarter like a round of Stella's. Brewed first in 1708 as a special Christmas brew, today Stella is a gift for everyone to enjoy year-round. Stella Artois. Find it wherever fine beer is sold.
This is Cam Marston with Cajun Mike of E3 Termite and Pest Control. Cajun Mike, houses on pilings can have termites eat their way up inside the piling and enter the house. The homeowner never knows about it, but your company offers protection. Tell me about that.
Yeah, Cam. Basically, what we have designed is a program, and what we do is we will actually drill to the center of the piling and put a product in the center that will stop the termites from coming up into the home.
Stucco exteriors as well?
Correct.
How can people find you, Cajun Mike?
They can find me at e3pest.com.
That's the letter E, the number 3, pest.com.
When you make the right decision, it feels good, like picking the perfect accent rug or choosing a good night's sleep over an all-night crime show binge. It feels really good to make the right insurance decision, too. I'm State Farm agent Allison Horner, and that's why I'm right here in Mobile to help you select the right protection at the right price. I'll make sure you understand your State Farm coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. With me as your State Farm agent, it's easy to make the right choice. You can come by, call, or click AllisonHorner.com. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This is Jay Stubbs with Concourse Financial, and when I'm not working on an insurance plan with a financial advisor, I'm listening to What's Working with Cam Marston. Now back to the show.
I think it's wonderful the way these businesses have reinvented themselves in times of uncertainty and in some cases desperation. My favorite of the stories is Artious Walker, who was at one time looking for a place to cook and sell his food, is now a landowner, and he will host his former competitors, granted collegial competitors, in a space on the south side of Dauphin Street. Went from looking for a place to do his work to now hosting his competitors so that they can do his work and becoming a property owner with his partners. And his is a remarkable transformation that even he himself kind of chuckles at, which I enjoyed. Same with Mary Beth Greene and her focus on custom products now. Let's reinvent a little bit. Chris Rainosek continued to show loyalty to his vendors. I love these stories of people who survived. And these people, what they have in common is their livelihood depends on them taking action. And in this time of uncertainty, they took a great deal of action to continue their livelihood. A choice to take action is a real choice, and exactly what you do is important. There are those who, in this time of uncertainty, froze. These guys, these men and women, didn't freeze, and I applaud them, and let's face it, I need their voice in my ear. My business has historically relied on the meeting and event industry. That industry is on life support as I say this, and we've recreated by creating a series of 3-minute to 3.5-minute inspirational, motivational videos designed to inspire your workforce and give them, if culture is an important part of your workplace, these videos would fit that bill. They are strong proponents of workplace culture. Those organizations who have not seen turnover lately have a strong culture. It's a retention tool. In the videos we've created, help organizations like that perpetuate their culture, or they help organizations who realize culture is a strategic differentiator create that culture. If you want to see one of these videos, email me, Cam, C-A-M, at cammarston.com. Again, Cam, C-A-M, at cammarston.com, and I will send you a link and explain how they work. You're going to be impressed. We've done a good job with them. Mark November 4th on your calendar. Doors open at 4. Content starts at 4:30 on succession planning. Come to the succession planning seminar. We'll have 3 speakers. I'll be one of them. They'll be talking about mentally preparing for your succession. There'll be a group talking about financing your succession, and another guy talking about how to coach you through, or he's a succession planning coach. You're not going to want to miss it. November the 4th, email me for more information. You're listening to What's Working, produced by John Thompson with Ion Digital. We'll have another show next week. Have a good week, everybody.